Welcome to the Build Your Life Coaching Biz podcast, where you get to learn how to become a professional life coach and start an online coaching business from scratch. I'm your host, Krista Kathleen, a professional certified coach and spiritual business mentor. In 2016, I got divorced and left my full-time job as a registered nurse and decided to bravely answer my calling of becoming a life coach so I could help to change lives as I traveled around the world. And now I want to help you discover your purpose too. Having the freedom and flexibility to be your own boss and make as much money as you want right from your laptop will be one of the best gifts you ever give to yourself, your family, and the world. In these episodes, I'll give you real coaching combined with proven strategies and spiritual practices in order to help build your dream coaching business that feels perfect for you. Hey everyone. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving if you celebrate Thanksgiving. And I just want to quickly share something with you that happened this past weekend that was pretty traumatic, and I'm still processing it. On Friday evening, I got a call from my mom's neighbor, and who I'd never talked to before, and he said, "Hey, you need to get down here. Your mom's house is on fire. Your mom's okay. She's at her house. She's crying hysterically. When can you get here?" And yeah, it was terrifying. Um, it was a lot. She's okay. Physically, she's okay. Mentally, emotionally, she's working through some PTSD, as you can imagine, because I mean, that's like a big T in life, a big trauma, right? Your house burning down. The firefighters wouldn't let me go into the house, so I couldn't see the damage, but my mom took pictures the next day, and it was devastating to look at those pictures. That wasn't my childhood home, but my mom moved us there when I was in high school. So, that was it, over 20 years ago. So yeah, it was hard to look at those pictures. And so how they're still investigating, but what we think happened was my mom was varnishing some furniture and she opened up the windows because the fumes are really intense, and she had a space heater on to keep herself warm because it's cold here in the winter right now. And then she started to get a headache and got tired, which was probably from the fumes, and she went to go lie down. And then next thing she knows, she's smelling smoke and hearing noises in the house and realized the house was on fire and jumped out the front window, and one of our neighbors called 911. And so yeah, now she's just waiting to hear back from insurance so she can figure out next steps. But in the meantime, she's staying with us, and it is nice because she's getting to spend more time with Lincoln and I'm getting to spend time with her. And you know how life gets busy, and you always say that you're going to meet up and see each other, and doesn't always tend to happen that way. So we're just trying to find the positives in the situation right now, because otherwise, if you really sit with it, it's just scary to think what could have happened. So that's how my weekend went. Pretty big stuff. But there was something really good that happened this weekend, and I do want to talk about that on this episode. So I know that you guys are always trying to find creative ways to create new coaching clients, and this was something new that I've done that I've never done before, and I think a client is going to come out of this. So I always like to share my findings with you guys. And so one of my coach training students owns her own spa here in St. Louis, and she had an event called Friendsgiving, and she had this big fancy dinner, and then she had a sound bowl practitioner and yoni steaming and foot baths and massages and all this just cool spa self-care setup. And she reached out to me and said, would you be interested in like doing some life coaching for some of the guests. And so I was like, yeah, okay. And, I don't do a whole lot of in-person stuff, but I thought that this would be cool to switch it up and try something new. And so I got the idea to do 20-minute power sessions. So we had people like sign up on the schedule. And I went on Canva and I printed out this really cute goal action plan. And I'm going to share my design with you guys. I'll put the link in the show notes so you can take a look at that and use. I don't know if it'll let you use my exact template, or you can at least just get an idea for your own if this is something you want to try. And so I printed it out on a nice card stock using my brand and my colors and my logo. And so what I put on there is I put like the goal and motivation and start and deadline and resources, obstacles, action steps, and notes. And the only thing that I forgot to put on there was accountability. So I'm going to go back in there and add that in, because you always have to have accountability with any type of plan. And yeah, it was really cool because I set a timer on my phone, and the people would come into the room with me, and we were both sitting down in chairs facing each other. And I was like, okay, what's the biggest goal you want to tackle for 2024? And they would start sharing their dreams with me. And so I'd help them clarify the goal. And then I'd just go through the worksheet with them and writing everything down and taking notes. And then at the end, I would hand them the plan and say, put this somewhere where you can see it every day, because people who write their goals down and actually look at them are much more likely to accomplish them versus keeping them in their head. And there's research to back that up. And it just was like, it just made my heart so happy, because the person was like, you could just tell they were just so excited to get started. And something that they've been thinking about, here it is, like actually in front of them, designed out. And you could just tell a lot of them were crying. I usually end up making people cry at some point in my sessions. And but they were like happy tears and just releasing tears. And I don't know, it was cool how much we could get done in 20 minutes. And I was just, I've advised people that they could do something like this, but I never tried it myself. And my astrology coach is Marion Lacey. They do things like this all the time in Portland. They go to festivals and they have booths, and they'll do mini birth chart readings for people, and kind of same thing, like write out the information on like a nice piece of paper and give it to them. And then it's such like a good lead in for taking that next step. And I had a couple of the girls ask, like, what would it look like to work with you on a deeper level? Or a lot of times too, when you get to the accountability part, like who or what's gonna hold you accountable to following through with this? And then a lot of them say, yeah, I could really use a life coach. And I'm like, well, I'm available. And then I would always like hand them my card and say, oh, schedule, let's schedule a consult this week so we can chat more about what it could look like to work together long term. So yeah, that's why I wanted to share this with you guys, so you can steal this idea if you're listening to this and you're like, that sounds really fun, that sounds really easy, or I'm much better at connecting with people in person than online. I've heard that a lot lately from coaches that are like, I just don't like online stuff, I don't like social media. And I always say, well, there's so many different ways to run a successful coaching business, and you can do stuff in person. I think sometimes we forget that that still works, because we're now such like we've transitioned into such an online type of world. But it's really powerful to do things in person. And so yeah, I don't think I have anything else to add to this episode. I knew it was going to just be a quick little one today, but sorry, I am turning. I want to make sure I don't hit this person. Okay, going to get a lab draw as I'm recording this episode. But yeah, so if you guys want to see the template that I used on Canva, I'll include that link below in the show notes. And just, again, like I said, if this is something that sounds really exciting, just be thinking of where you could set something like this up. Like, can you collaborate with another business owner like I did? Like maybe a yoga studio or a doctor's office, a chiropractor's office, like, someone that's in like personal development work or health and wellness is a really good complementary combination. Or thinking of like kind of local events too, or festivals could be really good things to check out as well. So, all right. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. And thank you for everyone too who reached out to send their love and support with my mom's house situation from this weekend. And have fun creating your next paying coaching client. I'm so grateful that our paths have crossed at this time. And if you're ready to up-level your coaching skill set and learn how to confidently coach at the transformational PCC level in order to help your clients get bigger breakthroughs and better results, then join our Born to Coach Training Academy at buildyourlifecoachingbiz.com/certification.